Hello there. It's Jeff Carter W. Welcome you to another Degrassiisms. I know I haven't done a Degrassiisms thing for a while. Mostly all my Degrassi videos recently have been unpopular opinions or like miniseries stuff. So I apologize because I didn't do like a Degrassi topic that has basically been, in the realm that it doesn't qualify for unpopular opinion or any other playlist. So for context, this is being taped on May 7th, 2021, if you must know. So anyway, someone did a Degrassi Reddit post a couple of weeks ago saying what was the most unbelievable Degrassi plots. And using the Reddit post, I basically found 12, ones that were relevant to me, and I got 12 of them. So the hard part for me is taking from 1 to 12. So anyway, yeah, it's not as easy as it seems to be. Well, unbelievable plots isn't like mind blown ones. It's basically what you don't believe could happen and all that. So anyway, once I do the actual stuff, because it is a little bit of a weird situation at hand here. So bear with me, because these are the most unbelievable plots of all time. Yeah, there's a lot of hard ones and all that. All right, got them down. All right, so here we go. I only found 12, so from 12 to 1. Number 12 was the teen star Jenna storyline. Now, Jenna, of course, was introduced in season 9 as a girl who basically took Casey away from Claire. And basically, they had a decent relationship. Casey knocked up Jenna somehow. Jenna thought she needed to lose weight for the cheerleading competition, so she tried to lose weight for like laxatives and all that, but basically found out that she was pregnant. So she decides to keep the baby, even though Casey does not like that and says that basically you have to give up the baby somehow. But because Jenna is too far along, basically she can't give up the kid. So anyway, in Teen Star, basically, which is kind of like American Idol for teenagers, she basically says that, she's in the competition, she does pretty well. But then she finds out that many other characters, people in Teen Star, basically have sob stories. And that's what people like, the human interest story. One had her mother with cancer and all that. One of them had her father losing a job, all that. So basically, Shantae, who's perpetually always the Degrassi character, if you will, tells Jenna that basically you need to do this about your pregnancy and all that. Maybe you'll get some sympathy votes. So she does it. In the meantime, Casey is reconnecting with his mother and all that. And then basically when he hears Jenna say that she's pregnant and all that, Casey's shocked and all that. Because he was upset that Jenna would tell everyone about pregnancy and all that. And that his mom found out. The pregnancy story doesn't help, and Jenna basically loses ground and all that, and doesn't qualify for the competition. It also doesn't help that Jenna was not allowed to have the Teen Star people follow her on an average day of school because of Principal Simpson's draconian stuff in the wake of Vegas night. But I mean, the students asked for it in a sense. I mean, Simpson needed control, I guess, to save his job. Sometimes Audra Torres can be a bitch, but sometimes she can't be. So anyway, yeah. I think Degrassi basically wanted to mock the fact that a lot of people use sob stories to get through in competitions and all that. And it does happen sometimes. But basically, yeah. So Jenna's upset. She lost the competition. However, she's happy when Casey and his mom offer their help and all that. Unfortunately, Casey doesn't help matters by cheating on Jenna with Marisol while Jenna's pregnant. Like, fuck. Number 11 is Becky's changeover night in season 13. Now, Becky was introduced in season 12 as the sister of Luke Baker, who came from Florida to play for the Toronto Icehounds, like a major junior team, if you will, one step closer to the NHL in season 12. So basically, yeah. But we soon learned that Becky and Luke are in a conservative Christian family, that basically the parents teach them a certain way, and basically homosexuality and all that stuff is wrong and all that. Becky finds herself attracted to Adam, but soon finds out that Adam is a girl and basically doesn't want to do anything to do with Adam. So basically, she actually decides to go to this conversion therapy stuff her parents set up for her, basically to try to get rid of her homosexual tendencies and tendencies towards homosexual, like LGBTQ2 plus people. However, Jenna, surprisingly enough, there's a segue. So Jenna basically tells Becky about these things. Jenna wants to join Becky's church, but Jenna also says that Becky is being a little narrow-minded and all that. And, it doesn't mean anything. Like, they won't think of Becky any less. So basically, Becky decides to accept Adam for who he is and basically wants to date him and all that. Unfortunately, that does ruffle her parents the wrong way. I mean, her dad's a minister. And basically, I know that they got mad with Becky that she didn't defend Luke in the rape trial of Zoe. But there's also another reason why they basically didn't want to talk to her is because, she basically said that she wanted to be with Adam and all that and wanted to be happy with Adam and all that. And I think her parents just held it against her that she wanted to be with a trans person, despite the fact Adam died episodes later. But, yeah. And a lot of people say it's unbelievable because, people with religion don't change that much. And they also said that about Claire's family and Allie's family. But, it was a gradual change, more so than that. Number 10 is Maya with the cello and all that, being a cello prospect. And someone picked on Maya because basically the actress did the cello wrong and all that. It's weird how Maya was a cello person and a prodigy and basically decided to go into popular music in a sense. But I think it was because she felt like she could belong better if she wasn't a cello person because she realizes that being a cello makes her boring and all that. Basically, people hate on Maya for her appearance and all that. And, it's just awful that Maya thinks this way and basically tries to change her look. Number 9 is the music and acting bug to do with characters. Basically, it's like, a lot of these characters end up being good actors or being musicians and all that. And people find that unbelievable because it's like, can't have that much musical or acting talent on a show, despite the fact that it was around for 18 seasons / 16 years, I think. I think it was 16 years. Yeah, 2017, I think, was the last time that Degrassi has been on the airwaves. So, yeah. So, Manny, especially Manny being an actor, and Zoe, who else was a good actor? Was an actor, had the acting chops. JT, possibly. And then you go to the music of Maya, Craig, Jenna, Yeah, they find it's unbelievable that, this can't be, one school can't have so many, actors and musicians and all that. Because it's harder to get into the business. Number 8 is the trip to Vegas for Drew and Bianca's quote-unquote wedding. So basically, Drew and Bianca were boyfriend-girlfriend. Although a lot of people said that it was terrible, especially Drew's mom. Because, Bianca was this bitch who basically belonged to a gang, belonged to Vince's gang and all that. And basically, Bianca killed Anson, who almost raped her. And then basically, Vince forced Bianca into prostitution. Or to do what he says. And basically, in exchange for the fact that he won't tell anyone about Drew and all that. That Drew will be safe. However, Drew feels like he should protect Bianca and all that, and basically tries to talk to Vince, but Vince decides to come to the school prom with a gun and shoots Adam. I don't know if he meant to hit Drew or basically he hit Adam knowing that was Drew's quote-unquote brother. But basically, Vince manages to get away from the scene, and Bianca wants to kill him with the gun. Of course, Audra basically says that, Bianca's trouble for Drew, and basically, she shouldn't be with. This is all Bianca's fault. Why Adam got shot. But Drew stood up to his mom and basically said, "No, this is all my fault. I should never have been Bianca. I should never have opened my mouth. I will do whatever it takes to help Adam out." And no, that's not when Adam died. Adam survives. So basically, yeah, Bianca gets into a lot of trouble and all that. But she does rat out Vince. Vince somehow gets out of jail after a year. It's like, what the hell? The system just doesn't work. But then, Bianca starts to want to be with Audra and basically follows Audra's example and basically molds herself into a bright young woman and all that. So Drew, feeling a little weakened and all that, decides to ask Bianca to marry him and go to Vegas and all that. Despite the fact they're too young and all that, the Tauruses agree. So basically, a lot of people go to Vegas without, well, they may have had parents, but basically they all had their weird things. Katie loses her money to go into Stanford and almost sleeps with a Mark Zuckerberg lookalike. The wedding sucks. And basically Drew finds out he doesn't want to marry Bianca and all that. That maybe he's just a little weak from, all that. The fact of the matter is, yeah, Drew felt worried and he needed protection and all that. Yeah, it was weird how they got to go to Vegas with no major fuss. Number 7 is Mia's modeling. So basically, we all know that Mia was a teenage mom and wanted to be in cheerleading and always got bumped off by Holly J because Mia put her daughter before her cheerleading and all that. But by season 8, things changed. Mia's mom basically said she will take good care of Isabella and wants Mia to enjoy her senior year of high school. And that's when Mia starts to get into modeling and all that. Basically, a modeling agent sees her and all that, wants to give her a modeling career. Mia doesn't know what to do about the situation. And I know I made a mother opinion video about Mia. Was she a good mother to Isabella or was she a bad mom? But basically, it was a bit of both. Like, yeah, she should have kept Isabella in her plans. But, I think she wanted to model so that she'd have a nest egg so that Isabella could have a better life and all that. But the fact of the matter is that, it seemed a little far-fetched, Mia being a model and all that, and just ignoring Isabella in a sense. And basically Peter getting into her life. But basically Peter was trying to do drugs and all that to get into the modeling life because he can't relate to the modeling crowd. More on him later. But anyway. Yeah, Mia goes to Paris and all that and models. No word on where Isabella is after this. But anyway, number 6 is Emma and the Purple Dragon thing. I know Emma had a lot of causes to do with the show. And, it didn't make sense. And some of them made sense, some of them didn't. Like, you can argue about the whole cheerleading thing from season 1, which she is upset over cheerleading and all that. And Paige says, we're not sexist, we have guys in the group. But no, that's not what Emma means. Emma means that sexism is to objectify them. And all that. Yeah, that might be an unbelievable plot. But basically, yeah, it was a hot button topic at that time about cheerleading and all that. And a lot of people said the unbelievable plot was with Emma and the GMO foods thing. But basically, it stayed off the list because of the freedom of speech thing and all that. Despite the fact that, Emma did have some fault in this whole GMO foods issue with Radish. Like, it's her fault. But basically, at the end of the day, it ends up paying Radish as the villain because he basically is forcing Emma to apologize to save his own butt. And then Emma basically calls him out. And Radish is worried that now the students are going to take over the school. And basically, he has to get control back. Kind of a control freak, if you ask me. But anyway, yeah, the Purple Dragon thing was kind of off base. Emma did lose some causes. Her drive after Rick Murray's thing in season 4. But basically, yeah. This whole thing in season 7 was ridiculous. Like, Emma wanted to be a Purple Dragon girl. Purple Dragon, an energy drink that was going to support Degrassi with sponsorship and all that stuff. And then, the fact of the matter is that, she wanted to be Purple Dragon Girl because everyone thought that she was boring and predictable. So she decides to do it. She wins out, but then she soon learns the dark reality. I mean, the dark reality of the fact that, models are made to be thin, and basically the leader of the Purple Dragons basically insults Emma by saying that I found this dress was the biggest I could find under normal circumstances. Emma almost does an eating disorder again, but she basically decides that she needs to be true to herself. But the unbelievable plot is that Emma was protesting against Purple Dragon, and that people were upset with that. Even Armstrong was upset that she was talking about Purple Dragon in the wrong way. Like, fuck. So she decides to strip off her purple dress, and she's naked. Thankfully for Emma, she just gets detentions for breaking the dress code, and Hatzelackles doesn't suspend her. Maybe Hatzelackles knew that Emma was true to herself and basically felt that Purple Dragon was wrong with these things. Purple Dragon, I do believe, does sponsor Degrassi later on, but they changed their policies. Basically, it's bad PR, and basically they have to do a turnabout, a 180, if you will. Yeah, it was weird seeing Emma do all that. You could also put about Emma trying to make friends and all that by making pot brownies in season 8. But that really sent her flying. Anyway, number 5 is Will's irony. So Will's in Degrassi Junior High was this guy who actually had his parents were adoptive parents because his father didn't want him. I don't know what about his mother. Like, did his mother die or something? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, we all know that Will tries to find his real father and live with him, but his real father doesn't want to deal with him. So he goes back to his grandparents in Toronto. So anyway, Will's adoptive parents basically hate Joey because Joey always gets Will's in trouble. They're okay with Snake, but basically, Wheels is forbidden to see Joey, and then he's convinced by Joey to see him. So he sneaks off while his parents are at the movies. Unfortunately, though, the police show up. But the police show up because Will's parents are dead, and Will's grandmother tells him that. So Will's is angry about the fact that he should have been in the car with his parents going to the movies and all that. But basically, he gets mad at Joey and all that. But Joey says that you could have died too. What would have happened? But Wheels was offered alcohol, but he said, no, I don't want to drink alcohol because, my parents died thanks to a drunk driver. But then by school's out, he basically was a drunken shell of himself. And basically, his alcoholism got him in trouble. He crashed his car into another car and basically killed a 2-year-old kid. Wheels doesn't want to take responsibility, saying that the kid didn't have a seatbelt on. True. But, when you're drunk behind the wheel, you could get in a lot of trouble. Although some people say that, it's a little too lenient. But basically, he served 9 years in jail for that. I guess his punishment was mostly because he killed the kid, he was drunk behind the wheel, and he almost made Lucy lose her sight. More on Lucy in a different Degrassi video coming up soon. But anyway, yeah, how ironic. Number 4 is Claire's year and all that. Basically, Claire, in the space of 1 year, not season, but 1 year as in school year, goes to having cancer, myosarcoma on her back, and basically losing her hair, to being cheated on by, like, Eli cheating on her, to becoming pregnant for some reason and doesn't know who the father is, although it was Eli, not Drew. She was sexually assaulted by her boss, and she pressed charges on him. And basically, she had a miscarriage. All that. It's unbelievable how Claire could have all that in 1 whole year. Like, I know they want to give Claire good storylines and all that. But basically, this was the time when Claire and Maya were both on the show. And basically, they couldn't decide. They wanted to make Claire the next Emma and all that. But it failed miserably. They tried to make Maya the next Emma. And it failed a little bit. But yeah, Claire deserved better. Having to throw a cancer storyline, a cheating storyline, a pregnancy storyline, a sexual assault thing, and a miscarriage in 1 school year. Like, honestly. That just doesn't make sense. Number 3 is Kevin Smith. Now you're thinking, hang on, how could this Kevin Smith thing be clear? I'll explain. So anyway, as we all know, Kevin Smith is a filmmaker and a comic book geek who basically did some stuff like Clerks, Jay and Silent Bob, a few other stuff, comic book men. But basically, Kevin Smith had this attraction to one Caitlin Ryan, the character played by Stacey Mitchison. I can't pronounce things. But anyway, so it was amazing to see like Kevin Smith basically, in a sense, try to ruin Degrassi. Here's why. He had a crush. He wanted to co-write. He wanted to write a few Degrassi episodes, and basically got rebuffed. But by the end of season 4, he got his chance. So he decides to film Jane Silent Bob Go Canadian at Degrassi, despite the fact that Degrassi is reeling from the Rick Murray situation. And Kevin Smith puts himself in such a way that he basically makes it that he wants to go after Caitlin. And that, Caitlin falls in love for Kevin Smith and actually dumps Joey in a sense, leaving Joey all hot and bothered. And Joey also has another issue because Craig is off his bipolar meds, living in the streets somehow. So anyway, Kevin Smith kind of ruined Degrassi, kind of ruined the Joey Caitlin thing, all that. And people still talk about how shit he was for what he did in the situation. I mean, honestly, how can you figure that out? Kevin Smith. Ugh. Anyway, number 2 is Peter's storylines in general. Now, a lot of people hated on Peter's storylines. Basically, that's why it's higher up on the list. If it wasn't the Reddit posting, I'd probably be lower. But yeah, at number 2. So Peter in season 5 was introduced as maybe a love interest of Emma. And Peter goes to Degrassi and basically has eyes on Manny. I guess maybe she's an actress or maybe she's hotter than Emma. But Manny that takes it that she needs to get Peter to go towards Emma, not her. But Peter won't listen. Peter basically makes a drunken video of Manny and all that. Manny goes out on a date trying to hope that Peter is happy, but Peter's not because Peter's upset that Manny broke his camera after Manny realized what she had done. He wants $3,000 or else he will release the video to everybody. I mean, $3,000 for a camera? God. Manny tries to get the money back by canceling her plastic surgery. However, it's on a credit card, which basically meant she can't get it in cash. So she couldn't stop Peter. So Peter basically holds up his end of the bargain and basically releases the video to everyone. And Manny's embarrassed. Her family kicks her out and all that. And so basically, Manny's shocked. Emma was angry at first at Manny, thinking that she's trying to steal Peter away from her. But the fact of the matter is, when the story comes out about the truth, Emma realizes that she's being judgmental and basically lets Manny stay at her house for as long as possible until her dad stops being a dick. So, that's great and all that. And then Peter basically woos Emma. Like, Emma should never have been near Peter. And the worst part is when the writers reset her character after the Rick Murray situation, they screwed up because the Emma from seasons 1 to 3 would never have touched Peter. She would destroy Peter in an instant. But the weird thing about this whole Peter in season 5 thing is that what punishment did Peter get? He got lots of detention, but he didn't get punished. Worst of all, Peter's mom is the principal. Well, why didn't Hatzalakos do something about it? Like, she should have made an example out of Peter by expelling him. Like, why? I don't get it. So anyway, yeah, so Peter basically gets away with murder in a sense. He doesn't get much punishment after the street race with Sean. Like, he plants drugs in Sean's locker because he figures that with Emma and Sean's on-again and off-again relationships, as Manny told Peter, that basically, Emma's going to get rid of Peter and go for Sean. So he tries to take action against it and basically is worried. So he thinks he's won. And, he's got Emma on his side and all that. Everything is A-okay. Peter gets lucky getting community service after the street racing thing because of the parents' connections. I think his dad's more so than his mom. But, yeah. And then, they have a costume party, and Emma basically wants to sneak Peter into the prom. And then, thanks to Manny and Jay, Emma realizes things just didn't add up. So basically, she gets Peter to confess his role, saying that, I planted the drugs to save our relationship. And Emma breaks up with him. And Peter is upset that Emma was perfect for him, but why did she overreact? So then he goes after Darcy. But unfortunately, he gets in trouble for the fact that he had a internet creep pay for Darcy's pictures and all that. Like, I know Peter didn't know that, but Peter should have realized something and then warned Darcy. So basically, he pines for Darcy. He wants Darcy to take him back, even though that he was the one behind this whole internet thing. And Darcy takes him back. I guess Peter convinced her that his life is a living hell, and basically Darcy could help him out as a Christian. And I can understand Peter. It's like Spinner in season 5. Like, he hung on to Darcy because of the fact that Darcy was willing to help him out deal with the whole Jimmy situation. And even though he confessed that he accidentally got Jimmy shot, he basically tries to change himself, if you can believe it. So then, he's with Darcy, and then Darcy goes to Kenya unexpectedly in season 8, and Peter's upset. Like, Peter does good helping Darcy deal with her rape and all that. But then, Darcy goes to Kenya, and then basically Peter goes with Mia and all that. And, takes drugs for the culture. Mia blows him off, goes to Paris, I guess by herself. And then basically Miss Hatzelackles comes back from Regina to deal with Peter's issues. And then, Peter starts getting clean and all that. I think the more people say is unbelievable is how Peter managed to skirt punishments and all that. Like this whole, the drugs thing and all that. I think Peter might have lied to get himself out of telling Hatzelackles, his mom, the truth. I mean, Snake knew it too. Snake basically told Sean, says that, I'll talk to Hatzelackles and getting you back. And Sean says it's worthless. I guess because he figured Hatzelackles was going to be towards Peter and all that. I mean, Emma should have forced Sean to tell his mom everything. Or she would have. That would have been much more general and all that. But yeah, Peter was kind of a scumbag. And number 1 unbelievable plot is Spemma. Like, honestly, that's what everyone says. People like Spemma. People hate Spemma. Now, obviously, people might not know what Spemma is. So anyway, in season 9, Emma has issues. She's on a crusade project with Kelly for university stuff. But Kelly's dad says that Kelly's wasting his time, not earning enough, and basically gives Kelly a job in the Yukon. Kelly decides to take the job. And if that doesn't piss Emma enough, he decides to eat meat at the barbecue. And Emma basically is upset that Kelly's supposed to be vegan and all that. So basically, Kelly leaves Emma high and dry. Emma is upset about it. Emma accidentally lets loose the fact that her life is going through hell. She's lost Kelly. She's not doing well in school because she's willing to chase friends. And it's mostly because with the fact that Manny went to Hollywood and Liberty went to pre-law, that basically once she lost both of them, she lost her identity and all that. That's the problem with Emma, is that basically her personality really changed and all that. So basically, she takes a gap year. She tries other stuff. She works at the Dot. Really, Emma? But anyway, yeah, like, Spinner. She talks to Spinner. Spinner even said that he knew her from the calf boycott from the GMO food thing. And basically, he and Holly J helped Emma out with her recycle project. And Emma's happy about it. So, yeah, so then Emma, is part of the Dot, but she uses something incorrectly. The Dot burns, and basically it's like, oh my God, Emma. And then, Emma, Jay, and a few people take Spinner out to Niagara Falls to cheer him up. Emma and Spinner get drunk, they get married. They contemplate breaking up, but they basically said, they're perfect for each other. Especially with the fact that Jane cheated on Spinner and was trying to get back with Spinner. But basically, yeah, it was all about Spemma and all that. And then, we figured, oh, Emma and Spinner probably broke off. And then in Throwback Thursday, they're back. They're still together. And it's like, what? it's nice. It was weird seeing them back together and all that. But yeah, this whole Spemma thing, it was unbelievable. It was like Emma and Spinner. That is so random. I mean, lots of people thought Emma and Sean were supposed to be together, and maybe Spinner with Paige or Spinner and Jane. But like, honestly, that is so random. Like, why and how and who? Anyway, yeah, so that's not good in a sense. So anyway, thanks for watching this Degrassiism, and hope you agree or disagree. I don't care what your opinion is. But anyway, that's my video. Thank you. Good night.